Day after George Santos' historic expulsion from the House of Representatives.
Congressman, what do you say to your constituents?
Excuse me. You guys got to get out of my way.
Santos making clear he's not going away quietly, taking to social media and going after his former colleagues, promising to file Monday morning ethics complaints.
Who knew that disgraced freshman Republican Congressman George Santos would be the comedic relief that we all so desperately need? But yes, there he is, ex-Congressman George Santos. He promised to take revenge on his former colleagues last Friday. But how legit are the accusations that he's lodging against them? Well, we'll take a look at one of them, or all of them, one by one and find out. Now, Santos stated that he is targeting 5 representatives, 3 of whom happen to be Republicans. Every single one of those 5, though, did in fact vote to expel him from Congress following a House Ethics Committee report indicating that he had used or misused donor funds on Botox and OnlyFans. And that's aside from the criminal investigations he's facing on top of it all. Now, let's start with Santos's threats against the Democrats. Last week, Santos filed a motion to expel Representative Pramila Jayapal over the fire alarm nothing burger scandal.
You mean Jamal Bowman, right? It must be Jamal Bowman.
Yeah, he did. Oh, sorry, my bad. He did specifically note Jamal Bowman, not Pramila Jayapal. I misspoke, my bad there. So this is what he wrote. Let's see who will be the Republican that will have the testicular fortitude to pick up my privileged motion to expel Bowman and reintroduce it. #expel Bowman. Now, Santos also pledged to file an ethics complaint against Representative Robert Menendez to investigate any connection with his father, Senator Bob Menendez's alleged corruption. So here's what he wrote on X, formerly known as Twitter. Monday's 4th ethics report will be filed on Congressman Menendez, not to be confused with the senator. While Congressman Menendez has not been invoked by the diligent investigation of the DOJ into his father, there remains a question of what did he know and when did he know it? The complaint is to seek clarification from the freshman congressman on his involvement with his father's overseas dealings over the years and any potential compensation he received. I think it's a fair point to make sure we weed out the doubt surrounding Representative Menendez and his business associations with his father. I will leave it to the Office of Congressional Ethics to investigate the material I'll be submitting to them. So Cenk, I haven't heard anything about Menendez's family members being involved in any of these corruption scandals. But it could be possible. What do you think?
No.
Okay.
So his wife was definitely involved, but I say no, not because I know definitively, but because that's not how our justice system works. So the Justice Department did not have any evidence, didn't even mention his son. So why are we talking about his son? He's like, he even said it, the diligent investigation of the Department of Justice had nothing on the son, but what did he know and when did he know it? Okay, the DOJ also had nothing on George Santos related to Bob Menendez, but what did he know and when did he know it? I mean, we could say that about anybody. Okay,
yeah.
So like the dad, the Bob Menendez Sr., the senator, is a corrupt pig. So don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I loathe the guy and he should be ridden out of the Senate immediately. But the sins of the father are not passed on to the son. The question is, did he do anything with his dad or not? And that's not even a question because no one's even charged that other than Santos pulling it out of his where.
Okay, so that does it for the 2 Democrats that he's been targeting. So look, Bowman pulled the fire alarm. Okay, it's abundantly clear. I suspected that was the case. I didn't know for sure, but I thought his excuse was ridiculous. And I wish I was clearer about that because I remember having our production meeting discussion about it and I was like, come on, the sign is super clear. He pulled the fire alarm. Yeah. But do I think he should be expelled from Congress over that? No.
Yeah, so I wanted to clarify that too because I was actually wrong about that. So I think the sign is very confusing. But I said, hold on. Okay. I said, look, let's find the whole video and then we'll have the whole answer. Because if in the video he's looking around confused at the sign, then you'll know that he misunderstood the sign. Well, we eventually got the whole video. And when we got the whole video, he's not looking confused at the sign. He takes the sign and hides it.
Yes.
Oh no, then he definitely did it. Okay.
He definitely did it, but tell the fine people, because I'm so mad at myself that I didn't fight you on this. felt like it was worthless and I just moved on. But tell the fine people what happened in our production meeting.
Yeah, you were more skeptical about it, 100%. That's right, okay? But we didn't have the full video. Anyways,
yeah.
Look, bottom line though is, you know what you get for pulling a fire alarm? Detention. You don't get expelled from Congress and have your life ruined. It's a dumb thing to do, but it's a slap on the wrist. It's not, you don't get expelled for that. You get expelled for stealing from your donors and using it for OnlyFans. Okay.
And Botox, yeah. All right, now let's move on to the 3 Republicans he's targeting. So he threatened to file an ethics complaint against every single one of them, starting with Representative Nicole Maliotakis. So he says, Monday I will be filing an official complaint with the Office of Congressional Ethics against Maliotakis regarding her questionable stock trading since joining the Ways and Means Committee this Congress. Before joining the committee, the Congresswoman didn't have an active trading habit or a high volume stake. The question is, what set of information is she trading with? Well, listen, George, the question is, what kind of insider trading is happening in a very widespread fashion within Congress? Why are you just targeting one Republican lawmaker on this?
Yeah, look, maybe he has information on her that we don't, because it seems random to us. I mean, there's, as you say, there's dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, that are doing insider trading. And Nancy Pelosi has blocked any efforts to change that. She did back when she was Speaker of the House. And so, but maybe he has info on her that we don't know. But for now, you have to actually present the evidence. Yes. So not guilty, as far as we know.
Maliotakis took office back in January of 2021. According to Capital Trades, she has made 6 stock trades during her time in Congress. 3 of those trades took place in early 2022. The other 3 took place in early 2023. So unsurprisingly, Santos's claim is a little dishonest, but I think every single member of Congress who's trading individual stocks should absolutely be investigated, because I mean, when you look at Nancy Pelosi alone, the fact that she has managed to beat the stock market every single year makes me question whether she's trading based on insider information she's getting through closed door briefings. But anyway, next on Santos's list is Representative Mike Lawler. He says on Monday, I will be filing an ethics complaint against Mike Lawler for questionable campaign finance violations. Congressman Lawler owns a portion of Checkmate Strategies, and he uses the same firm that he is a beneficiary of to pay for services related to his campaign. The concerning questions are, is Mr. Lawler engaging in laundering money from his campaign to his firm, then into his own pocket? I will let the Office of Congressional Ethics be the judge of that. So this one is actually tougher to fact check, because our research only turned up one report by City and State New York on what Santos is referring to. So that being said, here's what the report states. Lawler used money from both his state and federal election campaigns to pay for a consulting firm called Checkmate Strategies. Lawler co-founded Checkmate Strategies, and he was a partner at the firm while he was running for the House in 2022. But the report also states that according to both state and federal law, candidates may spend campaign money on businesses or holdings that they have a stake in, so long as they pay market rate, and the expenses are for bona fide campaign purposes.
So it's worth looking into, but he doesn't have that publicly. There's not enough evidence yet. But by the way, if he's actually concerned about that, he should ask about Donald Trump. Donald Trump has funneled millions upon millions of donor money into his own hotels and estates. And saying, oh, we are using it for the campaign. And in fact, he has increased the rent 5-fold when he had his donors pay for the rent at Trump Tower. So, but George Santos thinks that Daddy Trump could protect him, so he's picking on randos instead of the guy who does it the most.
Look, all of this is obviously and very clearly politically motivated. And so far, the allegations that he's put out there are not that great. And he hasn't provided any evidence for the allegations that he's putting out there. I'm just disappointed in him, because I feel like given his time in Congress, and it wasn't long, but given the time that he was in Congress, I feel like he would have a lot more dirt. I mean, Madison Cawthorn certainly had more dirt.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're in a den of thieves, and that's all you could come up with. And that's because he's lazy, doesn't do his homework, right? All you had to do is ask around a little bit. I mean, it's shooting fish in a barrel for corrupt congressmen.
Yeah,
so
totally, 100%.
Yeah, I bet there's tons of dirt, especially on the Republican congressman, but you came up with this weak sauce instead. That's pretty normal for Santos, because like winning things legitimately and proving your case legitimately is hard work. Cheating and lying is relatively easy.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. We also love it if you hit the join button below, because that makes you a member, and members allow us to be independent, honest. We can be as progressive as we want, no corporate media influence, and that's all because of you guys. We love doing the show with our members. Hit the join button, become one of the Young Turks.